Thank you for joining us, everybody. My name is Chris Vaccaro. I am the Marketing and Account Manager here at Fulcrum Digital. We're going to be starting in a few minutes, just giving a few more people some time who might be running late. Thank you very much for your patience, and we'll be starting shortly. Additionally, during the presentation, if you have any questions whatsoever, please raise your hand from within GoToWebinar, or you can even post the question directly from within there. We'll be answering questions as they come in or at the end of the presentation. If for whatever reason we're unable to get to your question, we'll be following up with you personally after the webinar. Hello, everybody. We are ready to begin. Just reintroducing myself. My name is Chris Vaccaro. I am the Marketing and Account Manager here at Fulcrum Digital, and I am joined by Rajesh Sinha. He is part of the Executive Leadership Board and a technologist here at Fulcrum Digital. And the webinar that we are here to talk about is the 3 A's for a successful digital transformation journey. Now, Rajesh is very passionate about this topic, so hopefully you all are equally as passionate. He's got a lot to say about this, and he's going to be taking you through this journey. And again, just repeating, if you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to raise your hand or post it from within GoToWebinar. We'll be addressing those as we go through the presentation. And with that, I will hand it over to Rajesh. Feel free, Rajesh, to introduce yourself. And
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it, guys. I'm Rajesh Sinha, speaking to you today from our Newport, Jersey City office. Weather is beautiful, so hopefully we will sail through this presentation with a lot of information, and hopefully you all can have a good takeaways in your own ways. The purpose of this presentation will be simplification. Right? In digital journey, there are a lot of questions, a lot of technologies, many directions, many companies, and how do we carve out benefit for our own organizations, for ourselves, right? That's what the purpose for this presentation is. We'll try to simplify it, and the first attempt for us to simplify is saying 3 A's for digital transformation journey. And I'll talk about those 3 A's in a few seconds. So if you see the presentation and the format, what we have kept for today's webinar is we'll talk about key takeaways. You all have given a valuable time to us. I see good amount of attendance today on this call. So it's our responsibility to give you takeaways from our webinar today. Then we'll get into 3 A's, which I will talk about: assess, adopt, and accelerate. And once we get to understand what are those 3 A's, then we'll talk continuous digital rollouts, right? Then we get into the next part of our discussion, which is digital transformation assessment. And finally, we'll talk about SLG, solid liquid gas platform. How do we simplify our complex business and technical architecture into simple terms of solid liquid gas, which your key architects can understand, your business leaders can understand, your digital officers can understand, and you can have a common language to discuss internally in your company. With that, we'll get into some outcomes. All these theories has no meaning if we don't show you what exactly it will look like in your own business world. What are those horizontal business assets? What are those vertical assets? How much time does it take to roll out? And we'll show you those apps, which are the outcomes of digital acceleration and digital platforms. Finally, leave some minutes and for question answers, and that's the format we have kept it for today's webinar. So continue with our presentation. There are a lot of questions which runs in organizations and key executives' mind when they are on a digital transformation journey. Where do I start from? Where do I go? What are the common objectives between business and technology team? What my customers are looking for? How do I align customers with my enterprise architecture and continuously give them experiences from our platform? So there are many questions that runs. Many of you are already at advanced stage. Some of you are taking baby steps. Some of you are already accelerating pretty fast. You want to know more and more about future. So this presentation will give you all three aspects. If you are in a journey of taking a baby steps or first initial few steps, we'll talk about what those steps could be. If you have already taken some steps and you are into rolling out more and more applications, you might be dealing with some challenges. We'll talk about that level of maturity. And if you are in a journey of continuous maturity and you want to know best practices and how other organizations are evolving and maturing, we'll be sharing those examples with you. So these are a few mantras for overcoming challenges. During this talk, you will also get to learn what are those mantras you will take away for your organization. What are the key factors to make a digital journey successful? Assess, adopt, accelerate, right? Look at this journey. I personally don't call nowadays digital transformation. I say that most of us already are on that journey, thinking about it, taking the initiative. It's a time for all of us to accelerate. But before you get to accelerate, you need to go and look at it from doctor's angle, right? When you go and visit a doctor, doctor assess you, understand your, diagnose yourself, understand what, symptoms, behavior, issues you have. Similar way, we have to do the assessment in our business architecture and enterprise architecture, and finally technical architecture, right? There are many gap areas, and more clearly we know where those gap areas are, we will be equipped with resolving it or finding a better solution for ourselves. Adoption. Adoption comes with making a strategic decision, and most of the organization end up either buying a platform or building their own platform. So we call it a build your own platform or buy a platform from the market, right? These are the digital platforms out there. These platforms help you with horizontal assets, any technology assets, or business assets for your vertical apps. Once you have assessed, adopted the platform which you have bought, or matured your existing platform, it's time for you to accelerate. What are the key factors which helps you achieve success in acceleration? Is it people, process, continuous technology integration? What it is, those are the things we'll talk. So 3 A's for digital acceleration journey. So let's talk about assessment, right? So what could be the first step? We call it a digital infancy stage, where you have limited awareness, no digital adoption, but you know the whole world is going on this path. Everyone is trying to make their customer assets, partner assets, business assets in a digital format and trying to give better experience to the customers and compete in the market. So you have desire, you want to be on that journey, you want to learn what are the basic things you need to get in order before you can get get started with this path. Critical aspect is people, thought process. Do you have people who have awareness of what the digital journey means, right? Is it data, automation of data? Is it customer experiences? So the fundamentals needs to be understood by your business team first, and surely your technology team, and then having a common alignment between them of what this digital journey is all about. So getting yourself ready and aligned towards those definitions and the business objective could be the first step, and that will help you define your path. And there are many more questions. We will see if we can throw in some more questions which you can answer by yourself, and that can help you identify whether you are at step 1 or step 5 or step 2. So those line of questions can also be shared by Chris later on after the presentation, because those have 20-25 questions, and if you answer, and based on your yes or no answer, we can say whether you are at step 1 or step 2. Once we have done the assessment, based on your people, process, technology. When we do the assessment on technology, we look at your assets in 3 layers: data layer, business logic layer, and experience layer, right? And we come up with a maturity model of 1 to 5. Where is your data today at a journey of 1 to 5? Same way business logic and a customer experience or user experience layer on 1 to 5. Trying to keep it very simple, the assessment happens on these 3 layers. Once we assess it, and if we know that you are at step 1, step 2 in data, or if you are in 1 or 2 in logic and 1 or 2 in experience, what are the steps you have to take to go to 3 and 4? And what could be the synergy between 3 layers of data, logic, and experience, so that you can roll out better business applications and create a good experience for your partner and customers, right? Once you have achieved that journey, I'm just getting some message that audio is not that clear. We will
apologize for any technical difficulties. We are addressing them now. I apologize for any issues whatsoever.
Okay.
Okay. So I believe we have addressed the issue. We should all be good to go. So with that, I apologize for any interruption, Rajesh, but we can continue on.
No worries. Thank you. So let's talk about adoption, right? If we ask in an organization, just go and adopt the journey, it's very difficult for your IT folks or business folks to just go and adopt anything, right? So today's transformation happens through platform. It's universally proven. What is this platform all about, right? Platform gets you ready to go cloud, either private, hybrid, public, make your applications run from cloud. Not necessarily all the platform has to be on a cloud in a digital journey, but that's one of the steps you can take, right? You make the platform multi-tenant, you create an API economy, and you build many technical bells and whistles in your platform. Either you build it or you adopt it or you get it from the market. Whether you buy or build, you have to own it. You have to have your own journey. Against that, that platform has to be defined. And those definitions will come in based on your assessment, based on your roadmap. So once the platform strategy is built, then you will start building the adoption strategy. And during adoption, the process culture comes into play. How do you adopt? Do you follow agile process? Do you do iterative and waterfall way? In today's journey, most of the digital assets which are rolled out, they follow agility, agile processes to roll out business applications. So once you have adopted, then finally you get into a journey of acceleration, right? So what happens during the acceleration process? You have built, say, multiple chatbots. You have automated your data. Your data is integrated. Your silos applications are getting integrated. You have defined a common user experience, guidelines. You have achieved some success in silo business units. And now business is continuously demanding from you more and more digital assets. And that takes you to a maturity level of 4, where you have right processes in place. People are aware about how sprint works, continuous delivery works, DevOps, QA automation, all these processes and tools are in place. You are at the step 4 of digital maturity. What is 5? This is where your business team can bring in new ideas and you have a ready platform. You can integrate with any third-party apps. If you don't have those assets built in-house and you don't have a desire to build those in-house, you can buy and co-create those assets using your platform and API economy. With that, you have an ability to continuously roll out new business applications for your customers and partners. And once you know that you can roll it out within the timeline of 3 months and 6 months, that should assure you or give you your self-assessment that you are on a continuous digital maturity process, and that's step 5 for us. That's a simplification in our language. This is our way of representing it. Digital journey can be done in 3 different steps: assess, adopt, and accelerate. And once you follow these 5 steps, you can start to deliver quality and market-ready, better experience solutions to your business community. Now, I'll try to get deeper into these areas. These were the talk at a high level. So as we go deeper in this presentation, you will get to know more about technology, people, process, and culture. Culture plays also an important role in a digital transformation journey. So people and culture. Let me talk about a few minutes why it is important in digital acceleration journey. Traditionally, we have been rolling out waterfall apps. People are used to defining the requirements, then getting into design, architecture, then developing it, testing it, finally go live, production readiness, performance, stabilization, and the training and rollout. This has been the waterfall way. In today's world, business demands pretty fast. They want platform to roll out applications quickly. That can only happen if people can work in multiple sprints. They understand the Scrum method, the model of jumping on a call every day, talking about what happened yesterday, what's happening today, what will happen tomorrow, and staying focused. If something doesn't work in technical architecture, they should have an ability to discard it, change it, bring something new which will work with your architecture. And people should have this culture of, if something fails, it's an experience for them. If they succeed, it's a story for your company. That's the core foundation of culture. And in digital journey, you will never always be successful in rolling out any app. You have to be prepared for some failures. And how do you take those failures and take those experiences and bring that into your next sprint, next journey, bring into minimum viable product concept, show and tell to your business team and get their buy-in. If they don't like it, how do you quickly change it so that your technical solutions can meet the expectations of your business team, right? So that's the culture part of it. Technology assessment. Today, all of you know the amount of technologies which are out there in the market, and it becomes daunting tasks for us to pick which will work best for your organization, right? What works best for you may not work best for somebody else. That's the beauty of any digital platform. And it all starts with your data. It does not start with business process and experience layer. You have a legacy of data. You have a new data which you are creating today, and it all has to be mapped from the data journey, which is what every data has a physical meaning and logical meaning. We got to start our journey of assessing it from data layer and then go to the business logic layer. Somebody has written the technology code 10 years back. Some companies have bought the application logic from some other vendor, and someone is writing as we speak today. All these are new and old business logics are written in your landscape. How do you unify them today, right? How do you have an agreement in your organization of aligning all these things, past, present, and future, so that you are not creating a new chaos in this digital acceleration journey? And I'll park the continuous maturity model for a discussion during our later part of the slides, because once you see some ready applications, you will be able to understand what we mean by continuous maturity. Once again, coming back to the enterprise business architecture discussion in 3 layers, solid, liquid, gas. So data layer has to be solid. We all are talking about secure data, security, cybersecurity, so many threats all around the world for your data. So you got to define your data maturity and build the roadmap of maturing your data layer from 1 to 5, right? What could be the steps? Many data sets which are silos. You got to think about integrating them together so that it brings better maturity. You need to bring intelligence into your data. As I said, data has 2 components inside it: logical meaning and physical meaning. So more you draw the meaning out of your data, which is the logical meaning out of the data, and link it with your business logic, your data start to become more and more intelligent. It will give more meaning to your business, right? Many organizations have a lot of platform which has given them agility for data. They are struggling, or they want to have a roadmap for intelligent data maturity. Intelligent data is the key word most of them are trying to accomplish while they are in a digital transformation journey. Talked about siloed system. Liquid, which is the logic layer. Your business logic should be in such a manner that if you wrote it in one language, in one format, it should be portable to another format, another logic with less effort. But it becomes tightly integrated. You cannot port it so easily. That's not your liquid layer. So your business team and IT team must understand that you will buy solutions from the market. You will build some new technology and new platforms. Those things are going to mature within 6 months, in 1 year, and new technologies will come in the market. Would you be in a position to unplug that and plug new system easily? If answer is yes, you have a liquid architecture for business logic. If answer is no, you are tightly integrated and you got to disconnect it and make sure that you have the ability to unplug and plug. Saying it's easy, I understand. It's big job to roll it out, but unless until you drive and create your own vision for platform, these kind of initiatives cannot succeed. You have to have belief and the roadmap and the right team to execute on those roadmap. That's when you can create a liquid architecture. And finally, gas. Gas is you want to give an experience to your business customers on mobile platform, on any IoT devices. You can display your data and business logic, any format. Gas can take shape of any format, right? So you can pull your data, connect it with any business app, and roll it out for your customers. Now you got an intelligent purchase system, you got an intelligent warehouse system, intelligent order management system. So it should have an ability to deliver tomorrow and watch on any other devices. Certainly it will take time to display and present, but at least you have solid and liquid under your control. We can talk deeper and deeper in this, but I would just leave the discussion so far on SLG on a theory level. Now let's get into practicality of SLG, right? In your world, what is that solid layer? You have a customer data, customer information, you have business intelligence, many algorithms in place, you have operational analytics, partner data. All these data exist in your ecosystem. And how do you integrate them together? Have an ability to pull the data easily from your data layer. Those are the areas get defined in the solid layer. As we all know, in solid, once you define it, you need to have a strong governance process in place. And if it is not there, then truly it's not into solid state. It means it's vulnerable. You are prone to some attacks. And that's why it's important for you to define a solid layer for your data architecture. Once you move into the business logic, you start to bring customer-facing APIs, apps, partner-facing apps, your core system, employee systems, customer portals, mobile apps for business, e-commerce, B2B, B2C, integrated back office system. And you can select for certain business units, you can give them the mobile apps, which may not be available for some different business unit. So it means you are picking one data, another logic, displaying for one set of business group. So that's the ability comes out of this loosely coupled architecture, which is in the format of solid, liquid, gas. Gas, as I mentioned, it gives the experience. So these are the apps which your business teams are using in the market, because your customers are using in the market, and they have an ability to get any information from anywhere. That's the maturity level 5. So a little deeper on a technology side in the SLG platform. And I'll now talk about some of the solutions. So this slide should give you an idea about what is this platform approach. We talked about assess and adopt. And now we are talking about how do we adopt this platform journey, right? Here you have choices to make, right? So you make a first choice whether you want to buy a platform or you want to build a platform. If you decide to buy a platform, how is it going to look like, right? So there are many platforms out there. They have a vertical apps ready to roll out, SaaS solutions. You can buy it, make the changes to the business logic, the way your business works, integrate your data into those systems, test it out into a production environment, do the training for your business users, and you are ready to roll out, right? Some of our examples which we'll discuss about one of the food ERP management software. How food industry can be on a digital transformation journey, right? So we'll give you some example of that. We'll also talk about, well, we understood the platform, how the platform can be built for food management companies. What about for higher education? What is the difference between the platform which are rolled out for higher education versus food management? Do we have some similarity on those platforms? Then finally, we'll also talk about supply chain industry platform, right? And the correlation of these platforms, And we also will talk in the few slides about build your own platform. If these platforms market is offering you and you don't have a desire to buy one, you want to build one, what are those basic assets you want to stitch it together first so that you are ready to build your own integrated digital platform for your business need. So that's your build your own platform strategy. Once you have built the platform, on your platform there are two things which are running. One is your horizontal assets, second is the vertical assets. What are those horizontal assets? Horizontal assets are your technical assets. Chatbot, for an example, personalization engine, mobility, user experience journey. These are your robot as a process. If your business has many repetitive tasks and you have built software robots, those robots are all horizontal assets. Once you have built those horizontal assets, these are assets to be reused in your business apps multiple times. If these assets are built for one business objective only once, then you are not building a right platform. In the beginning of my talk, I mentioned about multi-tenancy cloud. The objective was reusable assets, and whenever new assets are built on the platform, the core concept it has to be reused. It has to come as part of API economy. It should integrate with your architecture. So next time you don't have to build the same asset. Vertical assets are based on business requirements. If you already have a warehouse system, purchasing system, order management system, you are looking to make it more intelligent system. What needs to be done is take your existing business logic, bring the new platform which makes your existing data intelligent data, which gives the better flexibility through business logic and gives your business user predictive information, behavior, the data, the information which you are not getting from your existing system. So once you bring those solutions in place, you are introducing vertical assets on your platform. So in simple terms, on your platform, you are basically bringing two assets, horizontal and vertical assets, to simplify it. You will have multiple business unit assets, but finally it has to be defined under vertical or horizontal business assets. This is one of the examples of a digital journey, right? We talked about assess, adopt, accelerate, right? So how any food company can assess, adopt, and accelerate, right? So this particular application which you are looking at, if you see in this app, you have on the top user management, vendor, budget, recipe, menu, purchase, nutrition, workflow management, invoice, notifications, and it's all widget, easy to drag and drop and build your own dashboard kind of an app. You know, traditionally many food companies have a lot of silo systems. You know, purchase system does not talk to warehouse system, or warehouse system does not talk to their order management system. It's not integrated with their POS system. menu recipes are running on some different system altogether. Some vendor had built it or licensed it to the food companies. So, and then there is no common user experience, right? So what food companies, they started to do, they have built a strategy to integrate their data and all these silo systems through one platform strategy. And once you integrate it together, this is what the outcome comes out of the platform. You got a menu, recipe, inventory, all this as a part of your platform solution. So your food director who is managing your food, client location, that director has all the information on his fingertips. He can service the customers very well, and there is a very high chance of repeat business, quality delivery, and customer satisfaction through the digital journey. Before rolling out this digital solution, parents were not having any ability to see what their kids are eating in school. Having this data, logic, and experience, now food companies can give parents an access to all the recipe management, menu management, and parents can select what their kids should be eating today and tick mark through their mobile devices, and finally it comes into the ERP system of the food management company, and then their kids are eating in real-time basis those food menu what their parents have selected. So your digital journey from silo system to integrated to an example of parent ordering the meal for kids can be seen through this platform example. Similar way, and certainly it has a mobile access as well. Now I will get into another journey of universities. What a platform can deliver to universities. In universities, you have data of student and staff. Student comes to learn. Staff, they are there to teach. University has a governance, curriculum, infrastructure where both of them can coexist and get the degrees. Yeah. In the past, if some universities have never been onto a digital journey, their student record system were all silos. There was one system for finance system where students will pay their finance. There is another system where they have a curriculum and learning management. There is a third system which tracks the attendance. Fourth system which gives them the library management or collaboration management, or maybe for workspace and collaboration, they didn't have anything. They didn't have any platform where 10 people can come together and collaborate and work on a project and work with the staff and roll out the business project to the universities. When university has to bring a digital platform, they have to look at the journey of applicant, student, alumni, and bring the data structure in a similar way and give the maturity of application where student complete life cycle is mapped into the platform. So if a student goes to library, the same platform, digital platform, gives them the library experience. Now the student is in events page, attending, employment event, attending sports event. Similar platform gives them the experience of event attendance, right? Now student graduates from the university. They are alumni. So they have historical data going along with them, and they have all the information available with them. So that integrates university and alumni tightly with the digital platform. So there is another dimension which I will talk, which is the life cycle management. Every business has life cycle management of their business process, and you have to have those methods clearly mapped into your business platform. That's when you will have end-to-end experience of digital journey, right? Student was one of the examples. Staff, for an example. How staff comes into any university. They apply for a job. They go through the interview process. They get selected. They are either a contract staff or full-time staff. They teach the student. They have a collaboration platform to interact with within the university with the student. Now we are talking about staff journey. Previously, I talked about food management journey. You buy tomatoes, potatoes from the market, you bring them into your warehouse and inventory management, then you create the menu and recipe. Your data goes through the menu process, goes through the recipe process, and then the meal gets created. The correlation between both the digital platform is, in food industry, we are talking about tomatoes, potatoes. In education industries, we are talking about student and staff IT. But both of them in the IT landscape is data. Data is your solid architecture. So if you define it into solid format, you can define a better way of giving an experience to your customers. This is another example of supply chain industry. So if you are into B2B, B2C commerce, order management journey, and you are looking at for your customer, whatever customer does in your company, all that journey must be mapped through a digital platform. If you don't have a digital platform in supply chain, your customer journey is mapped into system A, system B, system C, system D. What we are talking, here you have a customer comes to a platform, you can pull the report, they have an order, what order they have placed, whether their order is, do you have those, items in your warehouse? If you don't, by when you can procure, what's the time to deliver? All that comes out from one platform. It's an integrated system. Answer will run in your mind. Sure, I can get a beautiful product from ERP vendor. They have all these integrated. They have a mobile access. I'm ready to roll it out. Beautiful. If you can buy the right ERP platform, you can be on this journey of maturity of step 4 and step 5. However, you must have API economy built with that vendor. Do not let that vendor confine the solution and not let you give an access to any other system. Then you are tightly coupled architecture, right? You can get integrated solution, but believe in API economy, believe in giving your customer data to some other business users by using some different assets. If always you have to rely on one vendor, you will not be on a digital transformation journey. How are we doing on a time-wise?
We're doing good. We have about 15 minutes left in the webinar. Please continue to ask those questions. We'll be getting to them at the end. I believe we have a few more slides, and then we should be able to wrap up. So you want to take us home, Rajesh, and then we'll get right to questions?
All right. So building a platform, building a culture of innovation and continuous maturity model, these are the final mantras, right? We touched upon during many slides presentation how to build a platform, right? So building a platform is a journey, right? It starts with minimum viable business product concept, right? So you have to define what you are rolling out as a minimum viable application. It may not be end-to-end business journey. It might be one particular business app, but that business app has well-defined data architecture, business logic architecture, and experience architecture clubbed together. Once you roll that out, you start to mature your platform. Bringing one big digital platform from day one is not recommended. It's not feasible. It's a journey, right? You can start by having Amazon in place or Azure platform in place or any private cloud hosting platform in place. You may not have to go to cloud. You can take a baby steps of automating your processes. If you are an IT department, you can start with DevOps, building your software applications through automated process, right? So you're making your system and process more intelligent, and that could be the first initiative to roll out a system. It could be business applications like, building a chatbot application or robot apps. You talk to a finance department says that I have a bank reconciliation process that takes about 6 to 10 days of my finance people time to reconcile, submit the report to the management and executive team. You define those steps in a software robot, and that software robot runs while you are sleeping, opens up the bank accounts, reconcile, credit, debit, creates the report. Now your bank reconciliation software robot is ready. That could be just one business asset which can be running out of your platform. It could be a first initiative for your digital platform, digital journey. So it's your decision which business asset, which technical asset you want to build it first, and that's where your platform journey starts. While the platform gets rolled out and you have new ideas to be added on the platform, you must have governance framework in place, governance guidelines in place. You have to have continuous review mechanism, metrics review mechanism, otherwise platform can go out of control and it will not yield the result what you desired in the beginning. Building a culture of innovation. Technology is changing pretty fast. We all know about AI, blockchain, the newer things coming in the market, and IoTs. Things are going to talk to each other. Contextual computing is coming. Individuals are getting more powerful with their data in their hand. Your customers are getting empowered and powerful. You need to give more agility to your customers. That's the name of the game. If you are looking to confine your customers and lock them in your technology and do not give them the flexibility to go out, you are restricting their growth. More restrictions, they will go out because they are getting choices, many choices in the market. So in your company, you must have a culture of innovation. You don't have to build things on your own. There are many companies, they have innovation labs. You can take your business problems to their innovation labs, ask them to do the proof of value. You like it, you work on it. If you don't like it, don't work with that vendor. Go on and build some other ideas. While you are managing your apps, building innovative solutions, always keep your eyes on looking for new assets, new ideas from the market. And as long as you have that culture of innovation, you will be on the journey of continuous maturity. Finally, coming on a continuous maturity, it has to blend in 3 layers: people, process, and technology. All 3 has to go with the similar level of maturity. If you are matured from people perspective at 5, but your process is at 2, you cannot be at 5 level of digital maturity. It means then you need to focus on your agility, process maturity from 2 to 4 to 5. That will give you a better success. Technology, as I mentioned in my building a culture of innovation talk, there are new ideas out there in the market. Continuously bring it, release it. If it doesn't work, let it go. You don't have to hang on to those technologies because things are going to change in the market. So these are the 3 final mantras. Building a platform, how you can start building the platform. Give you an example of bank reconciliation. Give the example of building software robots. These apps which I just talked about does not take 6 months to build it. These apps take 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks. You can have minimum viable solutions ready for you. Culture of innovation should start from top executives, should start from leadership team. They got to believe in it. It doesn't always start from the bottom up approach. It should start from top down approach. And finally, common vision, common understanding. That brings the maturity for these 3 steps.
Okay, so we're ready to throw some questions at you. We got some good ones lined up. One, it was a very good transition when you were talking about the culture of innovation starting from the top up. One of the questions is they're part of the IT team at their company, and they're struggling to have upper management buy into their new ideas. They're saying that leadership has become a roadblock. For a situation like that, where top levels aren't buying in, but the bottom up wants to accelerate and knows that they have to, what advice would you give them to kind of bring about change in their organization?
Great question. We have heard it many times. So, well, in today's organization, if you see, you have a traditional CIOs and CTOs, but there is a new term which is emerging and which is, very popular now, is the Chief Digital Officers, right? The people who are becoming Chief Digital Officers, they do not have to have a background of technology. And many times executive teams are realizing at an early stage, or they are realizing at a later stage, but they will be compelled to either promote one of their existing team members who have desire to bring transformation in the organization to lead the digital change, right? The phenomena what we talked about, or the question which is there, that this is the roadblock they have. Solutions are either companies will bring a new leader who have a transformation mindset, or there are many times we have seen there are great business guys or even IT guys. They are ready to take on this challenge and they can take the lead role. How they can become leader? They have to convince one business group that this particular business assets can be rolled out. And once they can take a buy-in from that business group and get the funding for building the assets, they have to put the strengths together through a partner from outside or internally, have a show and tell for that business group. And once they have that story, successful story, even executive team starts to buy in. It's all about chicken and egg situation. Who is going to start? First, the executive at the top, they are going to give the direction, or technology people who can deliver it, then executives will buy in, right? So the correct answer is, if the drive is from the bottom, the people have to identify business first. Which could be the business asset they can bring it on a digital platform and create it. And if they don't have a resource in-house, then they should partner with the company, create the stories, go to the executive management, prove it, show it, and get their buy-in. And then it starts to have a snowball effect inside the company. Eventually, organization will bring an outside agent or promote an inside team member.
Great. Thank you very much for that. Next question. It's from an organization. They said that they have over 12 applications currently, but they're still not sure where the starting point should be for their digital transformation. How do they build a consolidation landscape? And they also mentioned that they know that you already say that you should start with assessment, but where do you even begin assessing 12 applications as a whole?
So if you look at multiple business data sets, it will surprise you that there are some apps you have not been even using in the IT organization, and it's sitting, maybe you are using it once in 3 months, but there are some business systems you are using it every day, right? So how do you categorize your 12 business assets in 3 different buckets? The first bucket, where 5 applications which you use every day, and these are business critical applications. Remaining 5 which you do not use that frequently, and the remaining whatever left you have not used for last 6 months or 1 year. Once you have a mechanism to bucket it, and there are ways to do it, right? If you have IT team members, they can run certain script, run it into your data sets. There are tools out there in the market which can help you run those tools and identify when the system was accessed, from which location it was accessed. So it analyzes the data sets and gives you the report. Based on that, you can create this existing landscape. Once you have defined which are your core business applications and that requires integration, you can further break it down. You can pick only 2 applications or 3 application data sets and then identify the business apps which needs to be rolled out. Then stay focused on that and build your integration strategy, right? Integration layer is key for your digital transformation journey. So your step one should be building a integration platform. And that's where it should start,
Okay, so we're just about out of time. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you for those who submitted questions. We did have some questions that went unanswered. We'll be following up with each of those people personally. Additionally, if you have any other questions, by all means, feel free to reach out to Rajesh or myself. We'll be happy to address any questions. After this webinar, you'll each be receiving a recording. So you can go back, review, share with your colleagues, share with anybody who you think will find this interesting. And, from there, again, any other questions, by all means, feel free to reach out. So I just want to thank Rajesh for joining us, and thank you all for attending, and have a good day. Rajesh, do you have any?
No, thank you all for being very patient listening to this webinar today. We appreciate your time. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Great. Thank you.